Patrick Mahomes in his first 6 seasons has won 3 Super Bowls, including 3 Super Bowl MVPs. He's been to 6 straight AFC championships. San Francisco suffers. Start that over. The 49ers suffer another heartbreaker in the Super Bowl. What's next for the 49ers organization? Where do they go from here after this 25-22 devastating loss to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? Kyle Shanahan isn't going to go anywhere, okay? There has been a good amount of fans that have been saying that Kyle Shanahan needs to go. It's dumb to fire a coach that has gotten you to 2 Super Bowls. Okay, you're not going to fire a coach because of a letdown in a Super Bowl, all right? The fact that you were able to get to that game is a testament to how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. Hell, how a third of the league is running his offense. Everybody's trying to replicate this Kyle Shanahan offense. And he also has several head coaches that used to work under him. Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans, Mike McDaniel. So Kyle Shanahan, what he does schematically, how he runs his team, his philosophy to winning, it works. It's good enough to get you to the Super Bowl. And the head coach that's good enough to get you to a Super Bowl has to be good enough to win you a Super Bowl. It's not like the 49ers have been getting blown out and they've been embarrassed in the playoffs. You're not going out like how the Dallas Cowboys go out. It's just 1 or 3 plays down the stretch that cost you the ball game. And for the 49ers in this Super Bowl, special teams, not being able to capitalize off mistakes, struggling in third down situations offensively is what hurts you. You don't need to rebuild the team. You don't need to hire a new head coach. All you need is for Brock Purdy to continue to develop, because what's scary to me is that Brock Purdy was an MVP finalist in only his 2nd season. Imagine how good he could be potentially in year 3. And if Kyle Shanahan can add some more wrinkles to his offense, maybe utilize more of Brock Purdy's mobility on some design quarterback runs or some zone read keepers, that could add a different element to the offense. Find a complimentary back to Christian McCaffrey. Like, we know Christian McCaffrey is going to get the bulk load of the carries, but in this Super Bowl, you could definitely tell that there were some moments where he was winded and he definitely could have used a few downs off. You feel me? They put Elijah Mitchell in for only 1-2 plays, maybe 3 max, but if you can get a complimentary back that could take maybe 5 to 6 touches off of Christian McCaffrey's workload, that would be a huge plus. Plus, it would also increase his longevity. You already know that CMC is an injury-prone player. The fact that he went through all of this season with no injury problems is really rare. And if you're going to get that again, that may be a little bit unlikely. So it's good if the 49ers go and they vest in, bringing in a pretty serviceable RB2 that's good enough to spell Chris McCaffrey when he needs a breather. He obviously was winded in his Super Bowl at times because he was the only offense they were able to have outside of the few receivers that were making plays that nobody really knew too much about. Jawan Jennings, we ain't hear Deebo Samuel's name too much. We ain't hear too much out of Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle got clamped. Another thing the 49ers need to do is beef up their secondary. Travarius Ward is solid. Their other cornerbacks, Ambry Thomas and company, they're not that great. I definitely believe that if Jalen Johnson hits free agency, they should go after him. They got the money to do so. You got Brock Purdy on a rookie contract, a really dirt cheap rookie contract. You should be able to improve that second cornerback spot. Hufanga got injured. He's going to be back fully healthy, so I don't think safety's too big of an issue for you. You're insane at linebacker. You're going to have a couple of guys like Chase Young who are going to hit free agency. You're probably going to have to replace some Randy Gregory as well. Find another young pass rusher to pair up with Nick Bosa. Hell, maybe trade for his brother, Joey Bosa. He's on the trade block. They have to get rid of his contract to free up cap space. I think it would be a good investment to bring along Nick Bosa's brother. Plus, you will have good chemistry on the defensive line between the two because they're brothers. It would increase the camaraderie in the locker room. It would just mean for a better environment, culture-wise, for San Francisco. Now, Steve Wilkes, I definitely believe that he has to go. You cannot let this dude be the defensive coordinator for you next year because he's not bad. I think he's pretty solid, but he's like a middle-of-the-pack defensive coordinator. If you're going to win a Super Bowl, you're going to need an elite staff, and you're going to need an elite D coordinator. Look who your last two defensive coordinators was. Robert Saleh and Amico Ryans, who are both head coaches. Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators in the history of the NFL. You need a good DC if you want to be able to stop a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Why you think the Cincinnati Bengals were able to get past Kansas City in the AFC Championship that one year? Because of Lou Anarumo. His defense shut down Patrick Mahomes in the second half of that AFC Championship game. Steve Wilkes, he's a top 15 coordinator. He's a middle-of-the-road coordinator, but he's not one of those guys that's going to be good enough to scheme up a way to stop Mahomes. To stop Mahomes, you need something innovative. You know, maybe a Rex Ryan would even be good. But Steve Wilkes, I like him as a person. He's a decent DC. He's just not a championship caliber defensive coordinator. Moving forward, the NFC West is about to get really tough for you. But I don't think that that's going to hurt you in terms of making the playoffs. But the LA Rams, they're coming. And I believe that this coming season, in 2024, this year, they're going to be a serious Super Bowl contender. I don't know how the hell the New York Jets have better Super Bowl odds than them. That's ridiculous. But think about what the Rams have done in the draft. They damn near hit on every single rookie that they drafted last year. Kobe Turner. You have Puka Nacua. And then think about some of the second-year guys who were coming on. Kyron Williams, he's going to be going into year 3. The Rams are perfectly positioned to win a Super Bowl within the next 2-4 years with the insane amount of young talent that they have on that team. They went from F those draft picks, using those picks to acquire already proven veteran talent, to now going to, you know what, we need those picks. Let's get these guys in and develop them, because now look at how bright their future is. Matthew Stafford, we know that his playing days are starting to get numbered, but he played at the MVP level. I don't think Matthew Stafford is going anywhere. I don't think he's going to regress, at least within the next 2 years. Now, if he plays 3 more years, then yes, I do think that he's either going to get injured or Father Time is finally going to catch up to him. But for right now, Matthew Stafford has proven to be not only the best quarterback in the division, but probably the best quarterback in the NFC right now. Who else is better than Matthew Stafford? Not Jalen Hurts. Not after what the hell we saw this season. You got the Seattle Seahawks, who, like the Rams, have drafted very well. And they got a team with the roster that's ready to compete for a Super Bowl. But they got a young head coach in the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know about them. I don't know if they're really going to be a challenge to you. But Jonathan Gannon did do some pretty nice things in his first season. They got some really big wins against the Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys. So it does look like that franchise is heading in the right direction based on what we saw year 1 out of him. But I don't really think the Cardinals are anything to really be worried about. The 49ers have to do a better job of making sure that they can find ways to finish games in the fourth quarter. That's why Kyle Shanahan keeps coming up short. You don't need to make a change at head coach. That would be too drastic for a team that's already there. You're right here. You're right here. For all we know, the 49ers could be 1 or 2 good draft picks away from winning the Super Bowl. They could be 1, 2 good free agency signings away from winning a Super Bowl. We don't know. They're in the same position that the Buffalo Bills are in right now. You don't need to let one player, which is Patrick Mahomes, make you just completely change away your franchise, change what works. Patrick Mahomes was the reason you drafted Trey Lance. And Kyle Shanahan saw that nightmare unfold right in front of his face on the sideline. But still, Brock Purdy is good enough to win you a Super Bowl. Continue to build up that team, improve the interior of the offensive line, because your offensive guards and your center, they got absolutely worked by Chris Jones. They were getting bullied up front by Kansas City's D-line. The 49ers, if they can get stronger on the interior offensive line, they can get a better number 2 cornerback, and Kyle Shanahan replaces Steve Wilkes with a better D coordinator, the 49ers definitely could find themselves back in this game next season. I know it's hard to get back to a Super Bowl. Most teams that appear in the Super Bowl have a hard time making it back, i.e. the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody thought they were going to make it back. But the 49ers, with how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is, his ability to assemble a really good coaching staff, D coordinator, and making some improvements on the interior O-line, getting another cornerback, that would be enough for them to get over the hump. At least if you don't have to play Mahomes again. If you have to play Mahomes again, it's no telling how good Kansas City's team is going to be next season, because they weren't that good this season. And they still won the Super Bowl. But for the 49ers, I don't think anything drastic needs to change. All you need to do is continue to make your team better, get a little younger, and Kyle Shanahan, get a new D coordinator, and you'll be set.